told you that I seen some of the things that you've been going back and forth online about. And the reason that it caught my attention was because I had also invested in some verses. I invested in the Benny the Butcher verse, and I invested in Conway, and I invested in some other ones. And the reason it caught my attention is because, like I say, I know who you are, and I don't know them, but I'm doing business with them through the internet.
Yes,
and
sir.
At this point in time, I pay them, they give me what I want, I leave it out. You know what I mean? But what I wanted to ask you, because it seems as though you were pretty upset about something that has gone on with the whole verse thing. And I don't just want to touch on that, but I also want you to let people know how beneficial these verses and things are, because this ain't something that just comes around, all the time. Like from what I see, this is something that you kind of got to be somebody who knows somebody in order to, make these type of things happen. But I did see that there was a little discrepancy between you and, I believe it's Anno Damani and Temper Beat.
No, Anno is my people.
Okay.
Anno and I met like literally when AOL Instant Messenger was a thing.
Damn.
Okay? Like that's how far back we go. Like when SoundClick was a thing. All right.
Okay.
Anno lived in Germany. Then he lived in United Kingdom. And when I met him, I was like, we were doing super volume, bro. Like for people on the internet, there's only one person I've ever done business with still to this day. Like I'm talking about like consistent business that I've never met. And that's Matt Conway of Mac Media Pro. He's done like literally 50 plus PR campaigns for albums I've worked on. We've never met in real life. I'm talking about like, hey man, I put like $50,000 to $100,000 in your pocket and we haven't met. That's nuts to me. So Anno and I were at that level, and I'm like, you need to move to America. And he's like, that's crazy you'd say that because I've been thinking about it. So I got him letters of recommendation from like record labels and artists we've worked with so he could get his work visa. And I'd never met his family, but of course his mom and dad were like, who's this American dude like telling you to move and leave us?
Right.
So Anno eventually, long story short, met a girl, they got married, they have children now. And at his wedding, I met his parents, and they're like, we didn't like you at first, but like you helped our son find a soulmate. I'm very protective of Anno because I think I'm a good person, like deep rooted. Anno is a great person.
Okay.
He's the most quality human being I've ever met. Like, a lot of the headache that he gets comes from like how I act online, or like, he's just the nicest fucking guy, and he'll explain something to you 100 times till you're satisfied with the result and like you understand. And I'm like, what the fuck do you want? Like Jesus Christ, so
right.
I'm that. And then the people complain to him about me, and it's like, but whatever. So you named the Benny pack and the Conway pack, which is crazy to name those two, because those were authorized by me. I was paid. I did my job for those. So Anno referred Temper to me. Temper wants to do the beats and verses packages. Talk to him and see if it's worth it, for us to do. And if I make $1 and Anno refers a project to me, cool. Like over here, Forever MC. This album, I think, came out in 2018. Anno referred me like, hey, I want you to meet this guy. And Forever MC is a real person. It's not just the name of the album, but we tried to market it for the longest time, kind of like your old Droog and Nas, where it was a mystery. But once we started marketing the album after I broke the record deal, the Forever MC guy was like, commenting on all the people's posts, like, I'm really Forever MC. I can't wait to hear my album. And that kind of like threw people off because they're like, who's this white dude? Like, damn. Like, but it's okay. The album still did amazing. I think it's made over $750,000. But when Anno first referred it to me and I was talking to him and at first he just wanted a verse or two. Then it turned into like, let's make this whole album. I gave Anno $20,000 just for the fucking referral. Like, that's good business. I didn't know what I was going to make or not, but like, I knew it was going to be so substantial. So Anno introduced me to Temper. And the first pack we do, I think, has like 5 or 6 rappers in it, like Twins and Jaron Benton and Priest and Capadonna and Compton Menace. Then we do another pack. He comes back. So clearly it made money because he's coming back. The next one is like Onyx and, you know, so on and so forth, all these additional people. Then he wanted Havoc to do like a solo stand-up one. Havoc agreed to it, but then backed out. And Havoc's done that to us a couple times. So when I hit Havoc now for work, it's just when I need a straight feature. No beats and verses pack shit. So clearly he is an artist that's opposed to the licensing idea. So we got Joel Ortiz in Havoc's place, and Temper was thrilled. Then we did the Benny pack, and that shit, you know, was hectic. It took long, and you know, Benny has a different contract situation. He has his rights with Empire and Griselda and BSF, and then he has Def Jam. So it's like, what can and can't we do? And Temper, I think, kind of got upset about that because, you know, it wasn't just as easy breezy as dealing with a group of independent artists.
Right.
But that's the guy you wanted. You still made money. Fantastic. Then they wanted Conway. It was supposed to be Conway and Chief Keef. So we get the Conway feature done. As I said in my video today, like, I really went out of my way to like make him happy and make that a go. The day of the session, they wanted me to fly to Buffalo, and that was my wife's mom's funeral. So there's no way I'm skipping that to go to a fucking rap recording session. It could be Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and me, and I'm not going. Okay.
I feel
Ak, my friend that brokered the Bennyverse, that brokered the work for Conway. I paid him, and Temper reimbursed me, so that was nice. I'm not gonna act like he didn't. I paid Ak to go fly to Buffalo for the session and fly. He flew there and back the same day. So Temper could get the files, the video files, the sign off, all that shit, and be happy. In fact, Ak put up his own money and I had to pay him back. Very amazing person. People are fucking scared to put their own money into anything. Then Temper says he's coming to America and has me meet him at DJ Flipp's studio. Now, they want fucking Chief Keef. And I can get him. I make the phone calls literally right there in their face. You know, we can do this today if you got the cash. We want X. Well, X was like $5,000 more than they want to spend. And then I'm like, you know, on top of that, you have to pay me. And they're like, how much are you getting paid? I'm like, 10, at least 10%. 15 would be nice, but 10. So they're like, damn, well, we definitely can't do it. So we're negotiating with Chief Keef's people. It's not going to happen. Like, then the guy, we do get it to happen, but DJ Flipp, this is the funniest shit ever. Just like I say I own the IP and the service marks and trademarks for beats and features packages, right. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I invented like being the guy in the video doing the thing with the hands. I'm like, I was cracking up. I thought he was making a joke, but he was dead serious. And he got mad at me when he got mad at me when I was laughing at it. And on the same call, I got mad at him because he was laughing when I was telling him how serious I was about this shit's my baby. I invented it. I'm not going to let you or anyone steal it from me. And that's I'm fast forwarding in the story. But so Boosie comes. They're able to get Boosie. He's like driving in from Vegas. I'm there, and he comes, and I have to explain to him the ins and outs of the contract because he's never done anything like this before. You know, it's not for everybody. Right. We've worked with artists that regret being a part of it, and we work with artists that were totally grateful for the paycheck. To each his own. Boosie does the verse, and they end up making a killing. Okay. After that, I'm in the hot tub one night. I remember doing a live, and someone tells me, like, have you seen this fucking email from Temper? Like, they're about to drop the biggest pack the world's ever seen. So immediately I'm taking offense.
Hello? Uh-oh. Got me? Got my Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi cool?
I'm writing Temper. I call him like 6 times. He finally calls me back. He's on the phone with Flipp. He puts Flipp on the call, and I'm telling him, like, what is this? How are you guys proceeding with this without my knowledge? And they're like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. Like, but thank you. And I'm like, you still have to pay me. And they're like, for what? I'm like, for the IP, for the service marks, da-da-da. Like, you've only known how to do this with my contracts. Right. Not to say you can't call it some other shit. Not to say you can't hire an attorney to make your own contracts, but they didn't do that. They continue to use Beats and Features packaging. They continue to use like third-party licensing in their description. They continue to use my contracts to get the artist to sign off to do the packs and to issue my license agreements to the customers who buy it. So literally, I could take the license agreement you have for Benny, put up to mine. It's the exact same thing. I could take the license agreement you might if you bought the Royce and Davies Styles package. It's the same thing. And that was my joke today in my post. There's still, you know how like if you ever copied off a test in high school or some shit, like, dude, don't cheat like all the way. Like they
right, little shit.
Copied to a T the distributors and aggregators that I recommend. Like you have to use these because my friends own them. So I make money, my friends make money. That's why people like, you should have your own distribution company. Well, then I'd be making all the money, and that's just fucking greedy. I don't want to be the guy at the fucking steakhouse getting the nicest meal, and y'all motherfuckers are staring at me like because you can't afford chicken tenders. Like I'm not doing that. We got to eat together. All right.
I'm with it.
They put in their contracts you can distribute with Revel, Media Famous. This company, Media Famous, 6 months ago was sold to Symphonic for distribution. So there is no Media Famous anymore for distribution. It's wild that they'd have that in there and not even like check. So that's just one example. Like, come on, man. Then some dude gets online like, yo, man, like Flipp's my guy and I'm gonna fuck you up. Ain't no way he's stealing from you. I'm like, yes, there's a way. And it's happening.
Yeah,
so my attorney and I write them, this is the amount of money I want if you're going to use my Service Marks IP, like I'll allow it. I do the same thing for Anno, for Legion Beats, for Wishmaster, for Big Body Beats as the most recent new client. They're launching a pack with like Drake's OVO artists. I think it's supposed to come out this week, but they might have to push it back a week. And they all pay me, whether I brokered features for them or not. You're using my shit. It's like RZA, do you want to put the Wu-Tang W on this album? Give me 10%. Give me X amount of money up front, if so. And there's times, like, for instance, when he offered for Ghostface, I thought about it, but ultimately said no because we were doing different covers. So it didn't make sense to go through all this paperwork with Bobby to license the W to put it on an album that we're going to do 500 copies of, then to give them, say, 10% of 50 grand, it's 5 G's. It's like, that's not worth anyone's time. See, but Bobby's never done a limited product like that till recently. They just did like 2,500 of the Bobby Digital. You know, everything's always been mainstream. Like, you know, we're gonna put 100,000 units in retail. Like that's the era they came from. So, you know, I just take issue with the fact that they literally paid me, and whether they thought that they were just paying me to do the job the whole time, and I was including the shit for free or not is irrelevant. But okay, well, we're not paying you anymore. Like, okay, but yet please steal from me as if I'm not going to do anything about it. That's fucking nuts to me. Now, I do, like I said, I have these messages saved. Temper one day wrote me, check your bank. I log on and I have $1,000 from him, and I'm like, what's this for? He's like, you know, for like the next pack launch, and the next pack launch at the time I think was like maybe. I don't remember if it was like Mozzie and Currency or something else. But I'm like, no. I was like, what do you mean no? I went to the bank and literally asked for his wire information. I sent it back. I'm like, you don't get to pick the amount of money, bro. I tell you what it is and we'll work it out together. So I emailed them and I think I asked for like between 7,500 and 10 grand as in advance and like 5 points either of the gross or net. I think gross because again, I didn't want to be subject to them overspending on marketing and shit and losing money. That's very easy to do. Like I remember that fucking ad for the Benny shit was everywhere, bro. Someone told me they were on Pornhub one time, and then oh shit, Benny pop. Like, yo, like this shit was everywhere. That was the ongoing joke. Like, you are invading people's privacy with these ads. All right, so I sent him $1,000 back, and after that, he just blocked me and Flip blocked me, and all these like I'm like, that's insane to me. You know you have to pay me. You actually did send me some money, thinking that I would just accept it, and then I sent it back, and now you're like, people think that in the internet you just block someone and like all your problems go away. There's a whole reality outside of the internet. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you were the one in charge of the Benny and the Conway stuff, man.
Yes.
Glad for that. And now that I know that that's what you do, then that you'll be my contact person from now on when it comes to
Yeah,
that.
I mean, look, dude, I'm gonna grab my charger in a minute here. The pack we have coming out December 14th is the biggest thing in the fucking world. We make these packs so independent artists can be like, holy shit, like I get these beats to make my album. I get these features to, clearly profit with. It helps them build their social media analytics, their streaming analytics, the whole nine. It looks good on a resume when you're submitting to, like your EPK to labels, distributors. You get to perform the songs, all that shit. This is the first pack we've done that major artists have hit me like, I'm buying this. You're telling me lawfully I can have a song with Big Pun. I can make a song with DMX and put that shit out. Like I might start rapping again just to make the song with Nate Dogg myself. Like, who wouldn't want this? So the legacy pack, and we reached out. Usually we spend a month or 2 months making these. We did 6 months of preparation on this to get with the estates. Either I owned the vocal already and just didn't want to be a culture vulture, so I want to take care of the estates, or I had to get the vocals from the estate. Like I don't have it. So like that was a big deal and took a lot of time. Some of the, like if I need something from Sean Price, I can go to Bernadette. It's that simple. But like DMX's estate got like fucking 17 heads and 3 different people sitting at the top, and they have their weekly meetings with the attorneys and da-da-da. It's not simple. So I think this pack is gonna fucking crush it. And I'm really looking forward to like ending the year on such a high note.
Yeah, that pack, I seen that. Does that have DMX in it too?
Yeah. The first Legends Volume 1 pack, or Legacy Pack Volume 1, DMX, Nate Dogg, Big Pun, Sean Price, Hussein Fatal. And I can tell you, for 2, we're looking at Nipsey, Prodigy, Big L, Badass. So much shit, dude. But again, we have to have the blessing from the estate. It can't be like, otherwise you're eating off the dead.
Right.
Like,
and like you say, that would be culture vulture.
I could not live in myself otherwise.
They would be all over you.
The first thing I did was hit Bernadette because I loved Sean when he was alive. I put Sean on like 7 different records I worked on when he was alive. And Sean would always work with me. You know why Sean loved me? Sean loved me because he hated Dreddy so much. Dreddy put him on Bronze Nazareth's album. He's on the song Fifth Chamber, which is amazing. If you're not familiar, please go listen to Fifth Chamber, Bronze Nazareth from the Great Migration. And Dreddy apparently didn't pay him. So he's like, I know you're going to pay me every time. I'm like, of course, bro. That was coming up one of the best things about me. It didn't matter if you liked me or hated me. If you worked with me, you could never say I didn't pay you. Even on the Pete Rock shit when he was spazzing out. Did M80 pay you? Yeah, but okay, stop. No, there's no but. The answer is yes. So I'm gonna grab my charger real quick. Hold on a quick hot second there. Oh, be right back.
Boy, Zoom don't be playing. They like, bro, you got 2 minutes left. What you gonna do?
I'm back. So yeah, the first thing I did was call Bernadette. What do you need right now? She told me what their rent is or their mortgage. I'm like, let me go knock that out for a few months for you. Let you be, rest easy through the end of the year.
That's dope. That's real dope. So just so I can clarify, like you say, everything with Anno is cool, but it's just you just got some issues with Temper now. Temper and
so we can't work with Temper and Flipping them anymore.
Okay.
I'll always work with Anno. He's had my back for the longest. I have a personal relationship with his family, like he does with mine. I was there to see him build his shit from the ground floor, like he did for me, or with like seeing me build. Anno works with Gabe from Legion Beats. So I've never met Gabe in person, but like, so I know he's one of Ano's people. Ano's done a few packs, and I got again paid every time with Wishmaster. I've never met Wishmaster in person, but I remember I heard he did some business deal that I thought was like a bullshit deal, and called him and like saved him on that one. Like he's like was able to get his money back on it. And then Ano recently referred this guy Big Body Beats in Toronto, and so like it was easy. We talked. I told him what it is. Like, this is what I own. If you want to, him and Ano did a pack that I signed off on that was with the game. So he was doing one on his own, and the guy would, with no question about it, I recognize that you're a new company. I can't ask you to pay me like an arm and a leg. This is what would make me happy. Took care of it the next day.
Dope, dope. So I just want to say, from my personal experience with the Benny the Butcher, the Conway, and the Versus, they have definitely helped me as an artist and helped my company as artists build a following. Everything was legit. I remember I remember when I seen the PRO in there. I'm like, whoa, that's the PRO. Oh, we go. Oh, okay, okay, let me go.
Yep. So I am. Someone asked me that in the comments today. How does the publishing with all this work? Unless you make them sign off all their rights, I've never have. So I've always let the artists keep their publishing. So if it's in a license pack and say 200 people buy it, well, yeah, if they choose to register their songs, then cool. At least you can eat again off the publishing of it. Hip hop publishing is different if you're a hip hop artist versus like a mainstream dude, but it's
well,
still
I could definitely see people not registering and stuff like they should. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I definitely registered because they get 25%. So I definitely registered them. And as well as just another one, we shot a video for the Benny the Butcher one.
Mhm.
And it's on his iTunes. It's on his Apple Music page. It's called
Yeah,
I-9.
in the featured works.
Yep.
Yep. Now see, Apple does that, which is cool because I don't think Spotify and Tidal do that. So Apple has a like featured works page.
Mm-hmm. So we're even on that. You know what I mean? Featuring Benny the Butcher. We had him in the video too because I just chopped up some.
In the video?
Well, I chopped him. I chopped up
okay.
and put him in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I did ask him about the video. It was a little bit out of my range at the time, so I couldn't go down to Buffalo and get him. But we did put something together, and I did shoot it to him. One thing I can say is, Benny is somebody that, as well as 38. When I reach out to them on DM, they usually hit back. Like they usually be like, "Yo, what you trying to do?" You know what I mean? So definitely,
See, I met Benny first, and instantly knew that he was going to take off. Like I knew with my if I use my resources and you just fucking do what you do, we'll be great. And I'm not involved in the internal program he operates now, but I was proud to be a part of it when I was and really see it take off because I knew.
Right.
Like, bro, I got emails dating back years when I was trying to pitch Westside and Conway. I never even met them to labels. And of course, the same story you'll hear Westside going. Labels didn't want to fuck with me because of the Hitler wears Hermes shit. It's a lot of like Jewish Jews that I'm not touching this. Like, but okay, look outside of this. Listen to it. But I knew Benny was going to take off, and I'm glad that he did. And I met Spesh through Benny. Spesh reached out to me. I'm coming to LA. I want to meet you. Literally got off the plane. I was at a nightclub in Hollywood, brought his suitcase in the club, and came to my section. And just like his suitcase there, we're sitting down having a drink, talking, and always stayed in touch with me to soak up game. Like, how do you do A&R? How do you do A&R admin? How are you as an executive, like transition from the artist? Because I'm trying to really build trust, TCF. So everything he learned from me, he made work for him. And I stayed on with Trust, handling A&R administration for all these years, from Fred the Godson records to Ito, to the most recent record with Conway the Machine, to projects with him and Benny. to the compilations they do, and you know, I'm very grateful that I met Spesh. Like, I'm very grateful to meet Benny, and I'm glad that everything's like copacetic on all counts now.
Yeah, them is two of the hottest in my opinion when it comes to this, when it
Mhm.
comes to these bars,
Mhm.
for real. When it comes to this hip hop shit, the Griselda period, but 38 and Fred the Godson, you know, R.I.P. Fred the Godson, but man, the couple tracks that he did was special. I was like, damn, this guy was fire. So, so yeah, man, I just appreciate you doing those things and helping artists out. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, when I seen it, it was it was unbelievable for real. Because I'm like, man,
Mhm.
what? I could get a verse from Benny. Excuse me, hold on,
Mhm.
let me check this out. You know what I'm saying? But when I got it and it was official, I was like, oh, we about to blow.
Yep.
We about
Yep.
to blow up, baby. Flat out. Like we gotta,
And that's the point, dude. Like, if you're looking at it from an artistic angle, I get it where the featured artist would feel it's working against artistic integrity. It's like, I painted this on this canvas. It's
right,
not supposed to be transferred to another canvas. This is the canvas I painted this on.
right.
But for the independent artists, they have all their own unique canvases. And if I hear your song on your album, you know, and that's the whole point of physicals as well. Like, if I buy your CD and I'm listening to it, do you think I'm thinking about where have I heard this verse before? No, I'm just trying to think, is this song dope or not? Like, now for you, you're releasing it. Is it bettering your streaming numbers? 9 times out of 10, yes. Did you get more monthly listeners from this? Did you get more followers on social media? Yes, and yes. Um, is it something cool to add into? Are you, you know, are you making more money? Yeah. Is it something to add on to your resume? Yes. It's all these. It checks off so many yes.
It checks off so much, man. So
Yes,
much,
as
bro.
an independent artist, that's what you're supposed to care about. Like, are you getting closer to your dream? Are you trying to land the deal? Are you trying to have, you know, like better leverage when you negotiate a distribution deal or a record deal? All these things should be yes.
Yeah. So once again, I appreciate that. And like I say, we're gonna keep doing it. And from now on, I'm probably gonna hit you first when I see a pack just to see, you know, what you got going over there and make
Thank
sure
you.
I'm getting it from an official spot. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So moving on. Now, I did